11,200. Well, that's nice, but what about this? Commission approval. Well, that's not good.
Right now, 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 right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about Bitcoin because, as you know, Bitcoin is on a massive bullish streak over the last couple of days. It's going through a bit of a correction right now, but a huge and very important bullish confirmation has just flashed, and we're going to be talking about that in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live. I cannot wait to jump into this because it's going to be a very interesting stream talking about where Bitcoin is going to go next. It's very important that we pay close attention to the technicals, because if we see something on the technicals, oftentimes it gives us the opportunity to make a trade or investment that we may be able to profit from. If you didn't watch yesterday's afternoon video, it went up at 2. And that video, I talked a little bit about this, but if you haven't seen that video, I would definitely encourage you to go back and watch it, because we're going to be expanding even further upon what I discussed in that video, having to do with the buy signal that just flashed on Lux Algo. So let's go ahead and read some chat. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Shout out to Thomas Post, who was the first in chat, said peace, money, and coffee. Peace, coffee, and crypto. I guess that's what you were saying. That makes sense. I got it. Coffee and crypto and peace. That's smart. Sean O'Brien said, hey. Rocket Metal News said, hey, Jeb. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, good morning, Jeb. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. RC Moore is in chat. Just finished an operation. Now I'm watching you. Shout out to you, RC Moore. OC Pet Doctor's in chat. BTC Crypto Alerts in chat. Drizzy Drake. Philippe. Kevin Doran, sorry. James Sachs. Let's see. ZRFBBKKDZ. Harsh Joshi. Jossie. William is in chat. Crypto Trucker Mike's in chat. Josh Hobbs. Mawatal said, let's go Gainesville. There you go. All right. Let's see. Leroy's in chat. Pete is in chat. Good to see you guys. Rick4962 is in chat. Yard Dog is in chat. Good to see you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Wait a minute. Missed somebody. That was Pete. Hi, Pete. Welcome to the stream chat. All right, let's jump straight on into Bitcoin. As you guys know, Bitcoin is trading just below $27,000, up about 1% in the last hour, up about 2% in the last 24 hours. Now, there has been some negativity. There has been some bearish price action that's been taking place as of late, and that has happened over the course of just the last few hours here. As you can see, Bitcoin has gone through a slight correction, but Bitcoin is, to be honest with you, for the most part, doing quite well. Yesterday, Bitcoin managed to break above that long-term downtrending level of support, of resistance, and now we are back testing it. And at the same time, we've also established a buy signal on the daily chart. These are all exceptionally bullish stories. Let's break them down one at a time. Bitcoin has this huge downtrend that has been governing the majority of the price action for the last several months, and it looks like this. It's this yellowish green color. I'm colorblind, so it could be yellow, could be green. The world may never know, at least if I'm the only one in the world. That downtrend has been governing Bitcoin. It was set here in July, when when Ripple won the XRP case. Then we saw another rally right here, Wednesday, August the 9th, another rally right here. And those are the three major touches that created that downtrend. Bitcoin actually did break above it yesterday, which was very, very good news. That was a big, very bullish sign. And then we had something really exciting happen. We came down, back tested the downtrend, because this downtrend is there's not a lot of uncertainty about where this downtrend should be. On the log chart, it shows up very clearly. On the regular chart, it's a little bit harder to see, but it shows up very clearly again on the regular chart. It doesn't actually change all that much, actually. But nevertheless, this downtrend obviously has a lot of power, and Bitcoin obviously needs to have quite a lot of respect for it, and it has. The issue right now is that Bitcoin has fallen below that downtrend. We're going to talk about the what's going on down on like the 5-minute and stuff here in a little bit, but first I want to talk about the longer term macro. Moving out to the daily chart, not so much the macro, but the longer term perspective. Moving out to the daily chart, there's a few things going on right now that are critical. First and foremost, we have a very bullish formation forming here on Bitcoin, where we have a small green candle body followed by another larger green candle body. That formation is quite bullish, and it does indicate that there's some degree of exuberance in the market. It does show that we're having this kind of cup forming. Could we be seeing a handle form right now? Possibly. We'll talk about that in a moment. If we look at Lux Algo, we can also see that about a week and a half ago, we saw trend catcher turn green. After that trend catcher turned green, though, we didn't see a buy signal. In fact, we just saw Bitcoin drop. That's why we need to wait for our buy signal. We can't just trade off of the buy signal or just off of the trend catcher. We want to use both of them. We have now seen the buy signal alongside the green trend catcher. And if you recall to yesterday's video, oh my goodness. If you recall to yesterday's video, then, well, I don't know what button that was. If you recall to yesterday's video, then you will remember that we talked about the historicity of Lux Algo. We've talked about the history of Lux Algo and what it does whenever, what the market does whenever we see a confirmed buy signal. We looked at the last 5 times that we saw a buy signal on Lux Algo, and more or less every single time that there's been a buy signal, Bitcoin's gone through a pretty significant rally. There's one time here where Bitcoin rallied like 2%, and the day later it started to correct. But of course, this buy signal was a little bit of an outlier. We were in a predominant downtrend. We had never broken above this downtrending trend line. So if you were trading this, you would have seen, okay, we have a buy signal. We're rallying. We have green trend catcher. Everything looks pretty good. But wait a minute, there's this downtrend right here. Is Bitcoin going to break through it? And you would probably wait to enter a swing long. To go back to the local high up here at 31 until you broke this downtrend, which means you probably wouldn't have traded this buy signal anyway if you were using a holistic approach to technical analysis. Whereas on these other buy signals, using the rest of your TA, you probably would have traded them. So the question now becomes, is this buy signal more akin to this buy signal where we rallied to the resistance downtrend and then got rejected and went lower? Or is it more akin to this buy signal where we rallied to the downtrend and then we broke through with confidence? At the moment, I'm going to be honest with you, it looks more like this one because we had a large green candlestick, which is where the exuberance came from that gave us the buy signal in the first place. Next day, we're seeing a correction. This, we rallied almost instantly, broke straight through the resistance. That's how all 3 of the major rallies have happened so far this year. We're talking huge blow off top kind of movements. We've not seen that happen yet. I'm not saying it can't happen, but we've not seen it happen yet. Bitcoin's gone through that correction. Now, a couple of other things that I want to mention here have to do with the moving averages. If you'll remember, we talked about a very important moving average on the Bitcoin chart not long ago, and that was the 100 daily simple moving average. The 100 daily simple moving average, make no mistake, is one of the most important indicators, probably in, I'd say, number 3 or 4th position right now of all the ones I'm looking at. It's one of the most important indicators in all of our analysis right now for Bitcoin because it is the indicator that's governing the resistance. It's not just this downtrend right here that's governing the resistance. It's also this moving average. This is the 3rd time we've rejected from the 100 daily simple moving average. And if you'll remember, of course, everyone's talking about it, so I don't know how you could forget, there's been a death cross. Death crosses oftentimes happen after the majority of the bearish movement is already over, but they normally don't happen at the very bottom. A lot of times there is a little bit more bearishness to go. And just to prove that, if we turn off our 100 so we can see it a little bit easier and then turn off all of our drawings, looking back on the death crosses, for example, this death cross straight up called the bear market. So that was a pretty powerful death cross. This death cross showed up here and Bitcoin did have a little bit further to go. This death cross back here showed up here. There was, well, a day left to go. That was the pandemic, so that's an outlier. There was a death cross here. We had a little bit further to go. The death cross, if it's showing up at the beginning of a bear market, then yes, it's going to have a lot further to go. But if you're looking at these death crosses that show up kind of in the middle of the market or in the accumulation phase, this wasn't a death cross, but it almost was. There's a little further to go. And so we may have a little bit more bearishness ahead of us. We're not at the beginning of a bear market, so I'm not too worried about a death cross. That's pretty much the only time that you want to care about a death cross is if you've just hit a massive all-time high and you're still in a hype cycle, and then you see a death cross, or you're just coming out of a hype cycle and you think this is just a regular correction, and then you see the death cross. For example, when we saw the death cross here, that was cause for concern. Many people, including myself, were wondering, are we about to go into the bear market? No, we had a ton of printing going on. Quantitative easing was at an all-time high. We kept moving to the upside. Then we saw a death cross here. Well, what's going on in the fundamentals? Well, the quantitative easing has stopped. The Fed's talking about hiking interest rates to combat inflation because unemployment is stable, and according to their dual mandate, that's what they should do. You see the war in Ukraine is brewing, and we know here in January that it's probably coming relatively soon in February. So we see this death cross in the light of geopolitics and macroeconomics, and you think, okay, that's probably a real death cross. Boom, bear market's coming. Right now, things are shifting. The Fed is flatlining interest rates soon. We may have one or two more hikes, but they're basically done. Quantitative tightening is going to end eventually. Might be 6 months from now, might be 12 months from now, might be 18 months from now, might be 24 months from now. But eventually the Fed's going to stop the quantitative tightening. They're going to pause it. And the reason they're going to pause it is because when they're going through quantitative tightening, they're doing that for a reason. They don't really care about getting the balance sheet back down to zero. That's not their goal. Their goal through quantitative easing and tightening is basically the trend analysis. Are we moving in the direction of QT, or are we moving in the direction of QE? If we're moving in the direction of QE, then that means that we are helping to stimulate the economy because we're putting more money back into the system. Or not back into the system, but into the system, full stop. If we're going through QT, we're taking money out of the system to try and slow down economic growth and smooth out that inflation so that we don't have too much supply side inflation where you have so much stuff being built and so much stuff being created that you end up driving the prices of everything to the upside too fast, and then people are losing their purchasing power at a rate that you don't want, that isn't conducive to the health of the economy. So they're going to turn those things around a little bit relatively soon. Again, by soon, I mean probably 6 to 18 months. Soon in a longer term Fed perspective doesn't mean next week. It could mean 6 months from now. So am I worried about this death cross? No. But what I am concerned about is that Bitcoin has hit that 100 daily simple moving average, and it's hitting it pretty hard. We have not rejected from it. We've not broken through that moving average just yet. And so that's something that we want to watch very, very closely. Is Bitcoin going to be able to break through the 100 daily simple moving average? If so, wonderful. Then Bitcoin will probably go into a major rally. And I would say basically right above that moving average is where a long entry should be placed and should be looked at. And I'm going to be looking at that for myself and for my own trading. What I will tell you is that you want to make sure that you are being very careful about entering a trade before you break the critical resistance. Let me just kind of give you a basic lesson in technical analysis, because technical analysis is what got the channel started, and that's my specialty. I'm an expert in technical analysis. I've been doing this for a very long time. I also have some expertise in macroeconomics and geopolitics, but technical analysis is my primary field. In technical analysis and in the trading that you do and the investing that you do with technical analysis, there's a very important principle. And that is you analyze the market, you get the lay of the land, and you figure out, okay, what happens if something happens? Well, there's two variables there. You're looking for what is the possible movement, and then you're looking for what it's going to take to confirm the possible movement. The possible movement that we're looking for right now is a confirmed movement to the upside. That's the buy signal on Lux Algo. But if you're just using Lux Algo in a vacuum, then you may think, great, we've got a buy signal on Lux Algo. I'm going long. What gives? It's dropped $500 in the last 24 hours. Well, hang on a second. Remember, we can't just do technical analysis we can't just use one indicator. Because if you use that buy signal on Lux Algo and you entered a long yesterday, you lost money. Why? Well, quite simply, because you weren't paying attention to some of the other most important moving averages in the entire market, and that being the 100. 100 simple moving average is right here. It's right there above us. It's our ceiling. We hit it perfectly. Like, let's just get as precise as we can possibly get just to make the point. Just zoom in here. We peaked out at 27,313. The resistance is at 27,323. Bitcoin normally has movements on the order of hundreds or thousands of dollars. It got literally exactly $10 from that resistance, and that's where it stopped. That resistance is absolutely, unequivocally guaranteed the reason why Bitcoin stopped. The good news, the buy signal did still confirm, which means that that resistance level is in danger. The bulls are threatening it very hard. And because we have that confirmed buy signal, we have a take profit up here between $29,400 and $31,798. And Bitcoin very commonly goes to those. So with all of that in mind, with a little bit of a reminder of the current geopolitical landscape, mainly the Fed likely to pause rates soon and probably stop QT at some point in the next 6 to 18 months, and the knock-on effects that will have, that will cause more investment in the economy, more investment in business expansion. That will cause more investment in the stock market, more investment in risk on assets. It'll cause housing prices to go up. It'll cause everybody to make a lot of money, but it also might lead to more inflation, which may lead to another tightening cycle. Nevertheless, it will be bullish for Bitcoin with all of those things in mind and with our technicals in mind, that being the buy signal on Lux Algo and the 100 daily simple moving average and some other technical indicators that I could throw in there. I'm not going to right now because I don't want to confuse you. I want to keep it as simple as I can to make my point. With all of that in mind, there is a rally coming on Bitcoin with quite a lot of confidence. I'm very confident that we're going to have a rally, and if you're in a position to swing trade that movement, you could probably make a lot of money, and I myself am going to be looking to trade that movement. Here's the deal. To trade that movement, you need to know how to trade that movement. And again, to do so, we have to analyze the landscape and then use that to make our position. This 100 daily simple moving average we've identified is, this is a very dirty chart. Let's go to a different chart. This 100 daily simple moving average is we've identified it as the critical level that we need to pay attention to. We're going to enter our long position a little bit above it. A little bit above it. I'm even going to break out Fibonacci here for just a second. And, excuse me, not there. We're going to break out Fibonacci here for a second and see if there's like a level here that would be useful. 1.0, 1.5, 1.618, 2.618. I don't see anything major. What I do see on Fibonacci could be a local level of resistance right up there, around 28.5, 28.545. Not much on Fibonacci is not going to give us really much of an entry unless we were to, I don't know, maybe we could. Let's see here. Let's see if there's a good level here to pay attention to. There is. Look at that. 0.382. Fibonacci is something I haven't talked about as much on the channel as I should be because it is a very important piece of charting. If you guys aren't familiar, the Fibonacci sequence is 1 + 1 = 2, 1 + 2 = 3, 2 + 3 = 5, 3 + 5 = 8, 5 + 8 = 13. You go 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 134. I forget where it goes. But if you start dividing those numbers by each other, each in the sequence, either one number by the number right before it, then you get a Fibonacci number. If you divide the number by the number 2 numbers before, then you get a number. Then you inverse those and you get the other 4 numbers. And so that's where you get these 4 numbers. You get 0.236, 0.382. You've got 0.618, 0.786, I think it is, 0.783. Then you got your middle level, which is, of course, divide 1 by 1, you get 0.5. And then you've also got 0.65, which we call the golden pocket. It's very interesting here. The golden pocket is sitting right here at our previous resistance. We've got a Fibonacci number, 0.382, right here. If we break through this, we've also got Fibonacci telling us it's important. So what I'm going to say is if we're going to enter a long, let's just go ahead and give ourselves let's go ahead and make a little bit, because this is probably going to be a very easy trade. Let's go ahead and make it, excuse me, a little bit easier on us to make profit here. Let's go ahead and use our previous high at 27,472 as our entry, and we'll go 27.5. Input, I will go to entry price, 27.5. And then we'll extrapolate this over. Let's go ahead and make sure that's at 27.5. Yep. And then a stop loss. We're going to have a very conservative stop loss around 27.3, I'd say, somewhere right around there. The target, our golden pocket. Again, this is how you plan a trade setup. Our target, we're going to put it right down here, just a little bit below the golden pocket. We get a 7x risk to reward ratio. We do not enter this trade unless we've broken above the relevant Fibonacci level, unless we've broken above the downtrend, which we have, so that's already done, and unless we break above that moving average. If we break above that, and before we enter that trade, we wait and see if there's volume, then what we're doing is we're preparing ourselves to make a good trade. This is a trade setup that if I have time today, we have a bunch of stuff to get done today, I'm going to try and set up and take, because I do think that there's going to be a lot of profit potential here. This is a movement of about 5% to the upside. Use 5x leverage, that's a 25% gain. Use 30x leverage, you know, that's a 150% gain. Now, of course, if you're using that much leverage, make sure that you do a couple of things. First and foremost, make sure you have a stop loss. Second of all, make sure that stop loss is in the right place. Third of all, make sure you know what you're doing. And fourth of all, don't use more money than you can afford to lose, because if you screw something up with leverage and you forget to put a stop loss on there and then it scam wicks down, you can easily lose your entire position. So please be very careful if you're going to choose to use leverage, but I'm not personally against it, so long as you're being responsible. With all that said, that's how I would go about trading that. And I actually do think that this is one of those places where this is a trade that, if you're a trader, this is kind of one of those great trades. One of the concepts that I've learned and that I want to teach you guys about trading is you don't have to take every trade. Take the best trades. Think about it. If you're investing in a market, you're not going to invest in a company because, oh, it's pretty good. Like, oh yeah, it might work. Who knows? I'll throw some stuff against the wall, see if it might work. No. If that is the way that you approach trading or investment, please get some help. No, I'm kidding. No, but please don't do that. You want to save your money to invest in something that you think is great. Look for great opportunities. Look for great business partnerships. Look for great business ideas. Look for great purchases. Be picky. You only get so much money in your life, so be a good steward of it. I'm preaching it myself first and foremost, just so you know. But here's the deal. I think that this is actually one of those trade setups that's really good. I think it's got a good risk to reward ratio, and I think it's also got great profit potential. I think it's got great profit potential. So just keep all those things in mind. I think that's a trade setup that you could absolutely pay attention to. All right, let's go ahead and read chat. I appreciate all of you guys. Mike Lowry's in chat. Shout out to you. Let's see. Shutdown probably won't happen. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Let's go ahead and read chat. Feel free to let me know what you guys are thinking about. What I will say is that Bitcoin is in prime position right now for a trade, and if you are in position to make a trade, I think that you have the ability to do pretty well on it. Okay. Print3D said, Jeb, yo, what's up? Coinbase and Marathon Digital are good stock. Haven't done much analysis on Marathon Digital. I will tell you that Coinbase, I believe, is a good pick. We can look at Coin right now. It is under fire from the SEC, of course, but you know, who isn't? Just to be honest with you. And I also think it's in a good position to go through a rally. It's in a giant inverse head and shoulders pattern. We tried to break out of it here, failed. You know, we had this guy named Gary come and rain on everybody's parade. So went into this massive descending wedge, broke bullish out of it, and now we're still below $85. If Coin breaks above $85, and when I say if, I really mean when, because I think when the bull market comes back, it's going to explode. Coinbase will probably increase by 300%, if not 400%. I mean, it IPO'd up here at 320, and yes, it didn't hold on to that for very long, but it didn't hold on to that for very long because we entered the bear market. Coinbase has done a really good job of downsizing without compromising. And that's a very good sign for a business. Let me just say that loud and clear for everyone in the back. That's a really good sign for a business. It's a really, really, really good sign for a business if they're able to downsize and maintain at least the majority of their quality and the majority of their products and services. That does give me confidence that Coinbase is the kind of company that can weather through bear markets because they've done it twice. They've weathered 2 bear markets now, and they're still top dog. I think that it's a blue chip stock in the cryptocurrency sector. I think it actually is the blue chip stock in the cryptocurrency sector. So if you're trying to pick individual stocks, I think that Coinbase is a good choice, personally. Waiting patiently for bull run. Have definitely diversified back into some stocks, but BTC won't be this low forever. That's absolutely right. I think it's really important to understand that you should be invested in the stock market if you're not. You should absolutely be invested in the stock market if you're not. And the most important way for you to do that is to invest in your Roth IRA. To invest with your Roth IRA into the market. And by the market, I mean the SPY, the S&P 500, the Standard & Poor's 500. And the reason for that is because it's averaged 10.02% growth over the last 30 years. And with the investment in the stock market, you can build yourself a retirement account that will be able to give you quite a lot of money in retirement so long as you have at least like 10 or 15 years to invest in it. If you had invested in the stock market about 7 years ago, you would have doubled your money by now. So if you're, even if you're not less than 5 years, even if you're wanting to retire at 67 and you're 62 right now, it's still a good idea to do, because you're also going to get tax advantages for it. So make sure you're doing that in the background. If you're not investing in the stock market and you're only investing in crypto, I think that that's a mistake. I made that mistake. I'll just be honest with you. I got into crypto and I'm like, man, I got all this money in crypto. What do I need the stock market for? I wish I had to put some more money in my Roth IRA. I wish I had been maxing it out from 18. We do now, but I wish I had been maxing out from 18. You know why? Because it'd be up 70%. My initial investments. So I've learned my lesson, and luckily I learned my lesson very young. I just turned 23 like last month. But for any of you guys that haven't learned that, I know it can be confusing, the whole investing in the stock market and personal finance thing. Just a very simple thing. Pick a brokerage, go do some research on YouTube, put some elbow grease in, learn a little bit about it, and then buy the stock market. Buy the market. If you want to figure out, I'm gonna buy large cap, we'll do Dave Ramsey's thing, we'll do 25% here, 25%. If you want to do all that, then fine, go do that. If that's what you want to do it. But if you're not interested in it, just go buy the SPY. That's it. SPAIX is what it is on Fidelity. Everybody else has some index fund that tracks the SPY. So go do that. All right. And then also do that before you buy individual stocks. If you're going to buy Coinbase, do that first. Roth IRA is $6,500 a year. You can probably scrape together $6,500 a year to secure your future retirement. People think, oh, Jeb, you must not like crypto because you're investing in the stock market. Nope. I tell people that invest in the stock market to invest in crypto. I think they both have advantages, and to neglect one for the other or to neglect both entirely are both financial mistakes. So there you go. And I live that. I'm invested in both. All right. Just don't be mad when people with more risk get more reward. Oh, absolutely. You can make a lot more money. Here, let me just also say this loud and clear. If you are an expert trader, I think that you will make more money in the cryptocurrency market than you will in the stock market for many reasons. Number one, there's more volatility. Number two, a lot of times cryptocurrency follows more trends. Number three, it's open during the nighttime. Number four, it is younger, which means there's more cryptocurrency companies that are growing faster than other stocks. Number five, I had a fifth one. Number five. Well, what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. If I remember, I'll tell you. But there are definitely plenty of reasons for that. The Bullish CEO said 23 going on 43. I feel it sometimes. We've got 2 kids, and I am definitely enjoying it. But sometimes I do feel like I'm 43. Sometimes I do feel like I skipped my 20s and 30s, and now I'm in my 40s. But I still have a fun side. Don't worry. You guys are going to hear some about the fun side. But be more comfortable with risk in the stock market. Yes. Like I said, there is theoretically less risk in the stock market, and there is more risk to reward in crypto. The higher the risk to reward, the better, but you also need to, the higher the risk, the higher for the potential of reward. But if there's higher risk, you also need to be more skilled. So if you're trying to do things just laissez-faire and just say, oh, I'm just gonna put a little bit of money in here every month, I'm not gonna think about it, and I don't care about it, it's not interesting to me, then max out your Roth IRA, dollar cost average into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe one more altcoin, and call it a day. Tune into our stream once a week so you have a general idea of what's going on. Hit the like button, subscribe, help out the channel if you want. But that's what you do. If you're an enthusiast, if you're interested in trading, if you're interested in making more investments and picking smaller cryptocurrencies and knowing what's going on because it's interesting to you, all of those things are things that I'm interested in, then make sure to tune in 5 days a week for Coffee and Crypto, and also make sure to tune in for our videos because I upload every single weekday now. Uploaded 4 videos this week. You guys are probably very excited about that. I've talked to a few of you guys, and you guys are like, man, I loved it when you used to make videos, and I don't know what happened to those. And I said, you know what? Fine. I've been trying to get on this pedestal of, I need to make just the absolute best content, and then not making it in the first place. So we're just getting something out there, and then we'll improve the system as it goes. But I'm very excited about those videos. I mean, honestly, over the 4 videos we've made this week, collectively, they've gotten like 20,000 views. So I'm very excited about the content. We made one on why Bitcoin will dominate 2024 yesterday. The day before. Made a video on Lux Algo yesterday. Made a video on the 2 videos on the Fed over the course of this week. So if you haven't watched all the videos that went out this week, I think that you would get value out of them. And not one of them is outdated yet because all of them are longer term content. So go back and watch all of them. Crispy Crypto Supreme said, yo, Jeb, glad to see you back in the studio. Good to see you as well. Good to see you in chat. By the way, guys, if you haven't joined our Discord server, you should. People are talking over there right now. Shout out to Rob. He is currently typing in our Discord server. He and Homing Pigeon and Videotapes. Oh, it's Videotapes. Good to see you, Videotapes. I haven't seen you in a couple of years. Good to see everybody in chat over there in the Discord server. Make sure to go and check that out. You can find that with the link in the description box down below. Should be the top link. I'd love to jump in there and talk to some of you guys directly. It's really a lot of fun getting to know you guys. By the way, I also want to mention Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. You guys know that I'm a technical analyst at heart. I am a technical analysis. How about that? I am a technical analyst at heart. I study macroeconomics. I study geopolitics. I like to marry those two into my understanding of the cryptocurrency market. But first and foremost, my pedigree, I guess you will say, is in technical analysis. So if you have not already signed up for Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis, which is me teaching my specialty, then make sure to check that out with the link in the description box down below. By the way, I do also do financial coaching. If you would like to learn a little bit about getting your personal finances in place so that you are able to responsibly manage your money, because I find that everyone I work with on their personal finances is not failing in cryptocurrency. If they are because of them picking the wrong crypto, the issue is that they've got a mountain of debt that they need to get out of, or they're spending too much money on a certain type of budget like clothing or food or whatever. And helping to get those personal finances cleaned up is a way that you can end up making a lot more money in crypto, because if I can help you unlock $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month out of your budget, which I'm pretty sure I can, I've been able to do that with everyone I've worked with so far. I've been able to help them find at least $1,000 in their budget that they could get back by doing some things a little bit smarter. That's $1,000, give or take, whatever the number is, that you could, instead of throwing away or giving to, Burger King or giving to the bank, and so that they can have a fancier chair on a higher floor in a skyscraper in New York, you can actually put that into crypto and into the stock market, make yourself some money and build yourself some generational wealth, because the Bible says that the righteous man leaves his children's children an inheritance. And I know that you guys are going to want to do that. All right. Bitcoin's currently trading at $27,000. Basically just patiently awaiting to see if it's going to break out while we're live. I don't think it is, but for anyone who just tuned in, we do have a trade setup here, and this is what I am calling like a grade A trade setup. We don't like to take like C tier, D tier, F tier trades. You want to take the best of the best. Make less trades, but make them good. Because ideally, if you make less trades, but they're better, then you're going to end up making more money, because you're going to be having better risk to reward ratios, and you're going to have a better win-loss percentage. And that's what you're trying to maximize as a trader. You have 3 variables that you can impact as a trader. And these are basically the only 3 things that you can do. Statistically speaking, you can impact your risk to reward ratio. You can impact your win-loss ratio, and you can impact how many trades you make. You have to carefully balance all of those things. You don't want to make so many trades that you have a terrible win-loss ratio and a terrible risk-to-reward ratio. That being said, you also don't want to go for such a high risk-to-reward ratio that you end up making no trades. And you also don't want to have such a desire for this high win ratio that you don't take any trades because you don't find anything with the right risk-to-reward ratio. You have to balance all 3 of those. But normally, the problem that most people have is that they're over-trading, and they're trying to make 15,000 trades instead of making 15 trades in a month or in a 2-week period or whatever it is, and then making them really good. So think about your trades. Even if you're down on the minute chart, think about them, give some thought to them, and help yourself in the long run. Schmedley B is in chat. Good to see you, my friend. John Stoley 1 said, "Greetings, Jeb, from 42,000 feet in the air over the Atlantic, heading back to the States." John Stoley, you can fly? I'm just kidding. Welcome back to the States, my friend, and be safe over Bermuda. Just kidding. You'll be fine. People are so scared of planes, and I get it. I do. I understand. It's kind of a weird thing to just know, hey, there's like nothing below me. Like if I just were to fall through the floor, I'm going to fall 42,000. I'm going to fall 6 miles to the ground. That I understand that's scary, but just keep in mind for anyone who's who's flying that you're statistically far more likely to die in a car accident than you are in a plane. They're very, very rare that there's an issue. Jojo is in chat. Says, I'm here too. Shout out to you, Jojo. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned, because we got more content coming out later on today that you're not going to want to miss. Good deal. Let's see if there's anything in the Discord server I want to address. Let's see here. People are talking about the money printers turning on, that's for sure. Rob's talking about a U.S. government shutdown would be very bearish. It would be very bearish in the short term. In the long term, it may end up causing people to realize just how important it is that we get this whole Bitcoin thing off the ground. Because isn't it a little bit of a mess that you can torpedo the global economy because some goons in Congress can't agree on a budget? Let's just face some facts for Congress real quick. All of you are spending too much money. All of you are spending too much money. Who remember, for some of our older viewers in chat, you'll remember when Reagan was the president, he was talking about, we've had national spending go up from, what was the number, like 10 to $100 billion over the course of the last 20 years. In the 60s, it was 15 billion. Now it's 150, whatever the number was. He's like, it's a tenfold increase, and this is in the 80s. Now government spending is $5 trillion. Reagan was complaining about 150 billion, was it? Is that what it was? You tell me the number. The government is spending way too much money. Way too much money. It's way too big for its own good. So for all the politicians on Capitol Hill that can't agree on how much money we should spend, how about you just all agree that none of you have any idea what you're doing and stop spending so much money? If you want the average American to get out of debt and you want the average American to be financially free, which I'm not convinced most people on Capitol Hill want that in the first place, because if you're financially free, then you're not in as much of a position to be manipulated into voting for those people. And I'm talking to both sides here. Then the government needs to set a better example. If the government wants to play God and meddle in every single area of our lives, then they need to be a better example. Not saying that that would make it okay for them to meddle in every area of our lives. It's funny. I was picking up something, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because it has to do with an announcement that I'm going to make in a few weeks. But I was buying something from Ace Hardware, trying to buy something from Ace Hardware. They didn't know what we had. But anyway, I asked someone if I needed to pull a permit to install a certain plug in our house. And he's like, you got to pull a permit just to have an idea. You got to pull a permit just to have an idea in this county. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that the truth? That's everywhere. The government's way too big. So government shutdown, would it screw up the economy? Somewhat. It depends on the severity of the shutdown. Would it spook people and probably drop the market? Yes. Would it at the same time end up driving more people to realize the importance of having a currency that is separate from our government, that is able to withstand things like that a lot more easily? Also, yes. Short term, it would be bearish. Long term, it would be more bullish. All right, guys. Really appreciate all of you for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, make sure to sign up for Lux Algo because Lux Algo is calling this movement, and we're going to see over the course of the next few days if it's right. I'm quite confident that it is. Lux Algo is oftentimes very, very accurate. What I want you to do is I want you to go in the stream. 1 second. I'm just going to show you how to do this. I want you to go into the stream right here. Scroll down. Hit this button right here. Just make sure it doesn't show anything it's not supposed to. Nope. Hit that button right there. And come over here and hit buy now. And choose your plan. I'd highly recommend signing up for yearly. The yearly plan comes to $39.99 a month. It's $489.99 paid annually. That's so interesting because I just talked to Sean 2 weeks ago. And I'm pretty sure that the way that this changed is because of the idea that I gave him. That's interesting. I'm not going to be too specific, but as far as showing that number, it's $40 a month for the yearly plan. It's $489.99 paid annually. Hit subscribe. Just make sure it doesn't show any credit card information. Nope. You hit subscribe. You can come in here. You can go to add promotional code. The yearly plan is $489.99. Add promotion code. Type in JEB30. Hit apply. Loading, 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 loading. Dun 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 dun. Well, I think my internet may be giving me trouble. Interesting. Well, either way, it'll end up working. Give it a second. Anyway, go in there, type in JEB30. It'll work on your end. It might not be working right now because I already own Lux Algo. But anyway, go there and hit type in JEB30. And you're going to end up saving 30% off of $489.99. So $489.99 times 0.7, it's going to come to $342.99. So you're going to end up saving yourself minus 342.99. You're going to end up saving yourself because you use our coupon code $147 with the annual plan, which I would recommend getting the annual plan because it's going to save you a bunch of money. That comes out to it being, to Lux Algo costing, I think, $28 a month instead of $68 a month. So I highly recommend that you sign up for the yearly plan, use our coupon code at checkout, and then you will end up saving yourself like over $500 per year on your subscription to Lux Algo. You're going to be so glad you did. It is such an incredible technical indicator. All right, guys, if you enjoyed today's stream, like I said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out Club DeFi. Also, make sure to sign up and join the Discord server. Love to see all of you guys over there. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling.